Welcome folks to the channel, Clunkers and Classics, and today is the big reveal as I'm all finished with a 78 Nova. Well, 99% finished. Okay, and I'll be going over how much it cost me to buy it and how much money I got into it and parts and materials and everything. So okay, now I told you I had a surprise when I took those emblems off, and I don't know if some of you may not like it, but she's an SS clone. I know it's only a 6-cylinder, and I know a lot of you guys wanted me to put a V8 in it, but I like 6-cylinders, and price of gas nowadays, probably good to have a 6-cylinder around. And all the rest of my cars are V8s, well, all them muscle cars. Got the Le Mans, the 2 Corvettes, the GTO, the El Camino, the Chevy, the Aspen RT. They're all V8, so mix it up a little bit and have a couple of 6-cylinders around. Okay, so I spent about the last 2-3 days working on this thing after it was painted. Put on these belt moldings here, these mirrors, new wiper blades, the SS decals, the SS emblems. I fixed these runs just now on the edge of the hood, and I just sanded them down, then back taped it up here and put a couple of coats on there. It's still probably kind of wet, but I'm probably just run a buffer over it and be all right. And I got those 2 little sags up here that I could probably fix, but I'm not in no rush to fix them. And that Chinese carburetor did not work out worth a shit. It's like it's got a bad hesitation when you hit the gas. You can get it to idle. The high idle on it worked good. The choke. Get it to idle, but as soon as you put it in drive, it would just die, drive or reverse. You hit the gas, it would just bog down. And I tried everything. I put new spark plugs in it and make sure it got good gas flow and all that stuff. And it kept doing it. So finally I got a carb kit for the old carburetor. If you remember, that thing was leaking. The float was jammed in it, and it was all dirty inside. I took that apart, cleaned it out. I didn't video any of that stuff. But so we'll go over all the work. If you're new, I got about 15 videos of this car. It wasn't in terrible shape compared. I've been watching this other guy in Georgia, and geez, he's got some Novas there, and they are rough, just rotted. They're not even worth fixing. So compared to cars like that, it wasn't in bad shape. Just this quarter panel here needed to be replaced because it was all rotted around here, and somebody had bondoed it up and actually made it worse. Other than that, the left quarter panel had been replaced at some point, probably for the same reasons. But other than that, hardly any rust in the doors, fenders, anything like that. Trunk had a couple of little pinholes in it. I cleaned the trunk out. I put some undercoating on it. I'll show you. So, you know, it wasn't, you know, the floors and trunk and everything wasn't rusted out like some of these older cars. we had a few little pinholes that I put some fiberglass patches on. Just little pinhole stuff. So I'm gonna get all the jack and spare and everything put in it. And yeah, I'll probably drive this one. Drive it every now and then. Okay, then of course the body was the worst. We had to strip it all down. It had 3 coats of old paint that was all cracked. Had to been stripped right down the metal. Those are all in the videos. The interior was completely shot. Recovered the dash and put a windshield. Bought them seat covers. Redid the rear deck, speakers. Painted all the door panels. Well, I made these door panels here. Front ones. Painted all the back, all the trim. Got a cheap console from Walmart. So yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. I got the wiring right there for the radio. I'm not sure if I want to butcher up this piece here or build something there and put some console and gauges in there. I'll probably do that. Okay, so yeah, I parked it over here because the sun's about to go down, but wanted to get the sun on it. The paint job's not the best, but it's good enough for me. I'll be proud to drive it. I like it. I think that front, oh, and I blacked out the grill and the headlight bezels. I done that too last few days. Put on a bunch of stuff, touched up a lot of little paint and stuff like that. I'll put on these the strip rail molding here. Put that on there. Okay, so what did it now? The time wise, I think it's about 2.5 months, but really I didn't work on it in the last week after it was painted. I didn't really do much to it. I was doing the working on the 72 Nova. So I think probably off and on a couple of weeks I didn't really do much to it. So probably about 2 months. And that's not no 8 hours a day or nothing. I don't somebody asked me if I keep track of the hours, and I really don't, but I don't know. Some days I work 4 or 5, sometimes 8. Okay, so yeah, about a 2-month project. Anybody can do it. If you work full-time or something, it might take you 3-4 months, but okay, so let's go over what I paid for it and what it cost me to build. Now this is, I put this as the budget build Nova. Now budget build means I mean a bunch of different things, but basically just use what you got, get parts and stuff as as cheap as you can, but that doesn't mean crappy parts. It just means hunt around and be frugal or whatever, because some of these parts, something might be $100 someplace and another place would be $50. So just hunt around for parts. This is a combination of new and used parts. I bought a used door from a Drucken yard on this side here. Stuff like that. If you can find a parts car cheap, like the 72 that I'm doing there, I got that 68 parts car. That's a budget build, really, compared to somebody buying all new stuff for a car and then buying unnecessary stuff. So there wasn't too much unnecessary stuff. Just budget build. Just build it. It's running and driving. You don't need all that fancy stuff. You don't need fancy headers and hood scoops and expensive suspensions and disc brakes, and well, this has got factory disc brakes, but stuff like that. So it's I classify it as a budget build. Okay, now I did luck out buying this car. I bought it about 5 years ago. I got it for $500. It was a non-runner. I think he was a druggie, the guy I bought it from, but he had a clear title, not in his name, but it was signed over. I think he just got it and Uh, I believe he gave me new spark plugs or spark plug wires or something, and says, yeah, if you put these on, it'll run. But I thought, well, for 500, I don't even care if the motor's blown up. You know, yeah, that's probably when I would have put a V8 in if the motor was blown. So anyway, I bought it from him and got it home, and I think I might have bought a distributor cap and wires or whatever, and whatever he gave me, spark plugs and stuff. And sure enough, it run good, but it had a bad transmission leak, and I couldn't figure it out. Well, I don't really think I looked. It just, you know, every month or something, it would run out of fluid just dripping out. And later on, since I now working on it, it was the speedometer cable. And then I changed the modulator valve as well. So all the fluid leak stopped. So that's all it was, really. Luckily, it wasn't nothing major. So I kind of lucked out on that. You know, that guy I bought it from probably thought the transmission was fried in it. And the people that sold it to him probably thought so too. So who knows? So I lucked out, okay? Then I lucked out that I got a solid car, that it wasn't all rotted underneath, and the underneath is great. It's now all pore 15 under there, just had light surface rust. Okay, so when I bought it for 500, and I went to my local wrecking yard. I got a video of that where I got the door from 5 years prior. I went there, and because this was missing a lot of stuff, the interior was shot, and I got a lot of them plastic interior pieces from those two Novas that were in that wrecking yard video. Spent 50 bucks on that. Then they had this set of rims in the shop there at the wrecking yard, and I said, well, how much you want for them? So I got them for 100 bucks. Then I did an oil change on it, and I bought a new air filter for $10. And yeah, I paid 50 bucks for the used interior pieces. Okay, the front seats I got from a Firebird that I had. Oh, one thing I didn't write down was the lock, and I bought a door locks, and ignition lock, and trunk lock, I guess. So whatever price at the end there, I give you, I forgot to write down what that cost. That's what I initially bought for it. I think the ignition lock was screwed up or something, and I put in another lock. And then that's it. It sat for 5 years. I just didn't do much to it. I was busy with other stuff, but now that I got time. Okay, so that brings us up to 2.5 months ago. First thing I bought was the right quarter panel, $242.50. All the body bushings, $43.94. Shackles, $49.46. Tail lights, cheapest I could get them lights, and that's just the lights, lenses, $157.48. Two rear brake drums, $70.15. The door weather strip, both doors, $67.16. 4 great Gabriel shocks, $85.61. Some miscellaneous supplies, including JB Weld and some sealer, 50 bucks. Transmission mount, $10. Fuel, filter, second oil change, transmission fluid, 50 bucks. Vinyl paint, 40 bucks. The 3 Nova SS decals were $26.25. The SS grill emblem was $56.70. The 4 center caps were $27.29. And I did put on a new set of lugs. I had them from another car. They're brand new, so I put them on there. So I didn't put down anything for that. Rear speakers, 50 bucks. The tint for these 2 windows was like 10 bucks. I didn't do a very good job on it. I may get them redone, the back and the 2 side ones in dark tint, regular tint for the front ones. I might do that later. Steering wheel cover, $10. The seat covers, I mainly bought the set for the back, $34.64. Now these are nice seats here. There's nothing wrong with the seats underneath these covers. They're from a Firebird. They're gray. But since the back seat turned out so good, I put these front ones on there. They don't fit really good, mainly right down in here. They got the deals to tie it, but it just there's a hump or something there, so it. But anyway, I'll leave them on. If I don't like them, I'll pull them back off. Okay, the rear deck upholstery is $25.18. The door panel material was $73.40 for the two front door panels that I glued on top of the old panels. My silver paint was 60 bucks. I told you that on the other video, paint video. But I put down 100 bucks for the silver paint, hardener, and reducer. You know, masking tape, stuff like that. The black paint, I just put down 50 bucks. You know, I painted the stripes with. I still got like 3/4 of a gallon. I didn't use that much. You know, paint black along the bottoms and the stripes. Okay, body supplies, Bondo sandpaper, stuff like that, 100 bucks. Primer, 100 bucks. Some black screws, 20 bucks. Carpet, $153.22. The glass run channel, $37.15. That's the stuff here. The passenger door from the junkyard, 100 bucks. The sweep belt moldings were $89.64. They go on the door panel here and then the door here. They're kind of pricey, but you got to have them unless they're gonna leak water in there. Yeah, those belt moldings and the tail lights is a little high. 50 bucks for used windshield. The modulator valve and some weather strip adhesive and etc. 60 bucks. The speedometer gear, 15 bucks. Side mirrors, $37.79. The roof rail moldings, $23.93. New black window winders, $18.89. The Chinese carburetor, which I may return, but my choke, I don't think the choke, I'm gonna have to do some more tests, but I don't think the choke's working on this car. And that Chinese one is an exact replica of the original. So it has the choke on there, and I looked at it, it looked like it bolts up exactly the same. So I may take the electric choke off the Chinese carburetor and put it on my original one. But if not, I'll return it for $93.44. $15 for the wiper blades, $18 for a carb kit. And then I had it all added up, and I forgot about the console. I got the console there from Walmart for $29.99, and then I got some floor mats here for 12 bucks, set of 4 to match it. Okay, so the total, parts, materials, what I paid for it, everything, $3,092.53. So that's what it cost to build it, plus my labor. But for $3,000, not a bad looking car. I like it. Like I said, I'd be proud to drive it. You get good gas mileage, looks good. And, you know, it's not a concourse restoration or nothing. It's just, but I think it'll get a lot of looks driving around. Okay, so yeah, that's what it cost me. And that's about the going price I've been doing these cars for. The RT was what, 3,100, 3,200. My Chevelle was 3,500. GTO was about 3,300. So I'm building these cars for a little over $3,000. And that's not bad. You can do it too. And I don't know what that 72, the 72 Nova, I'm going to be buying a lot more stuff for it, because it's, you know, I got to buy a full interior, all the door panels, stuff like that. So don't expect that 72 Nova to be worth, to be done for about $3 grand. It'll probably be a little bit more, but we'll find out. So I guess the next question is what it's worth. But speaking of the 72 Nova, this 78 Nova is probably worth about half what that 72 will be worth, or maybe even less than that. Those 72 Novas, 68 to 72, they're worth the most. So, like I said before when I was doing the RT, it's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. You can wait. You can put it up for sale for a price, and you could sell it in one day, or you won't get any offers for a year. You never know. So I don't do this for a profit. I didn't fix it up to sell it. I'm keeping it. But I never put more money into a car than what it's worth. So I don't know. I belong to a bunch of Nova groups. It's hard to say what this would be worth, but I'm gonna give it a good estimate of $10,000. Since it's a 6-cylinder. I think if it was a V8 or, you know, an LS swap, something like that, yeah, it might be worth, you know, double that. Who knows, 15, 20,000. But just being a 6-cylinder original drivetrain, but all painted up and all looking good, and I know it drives good. I should take it all for another drive, but I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Maybe I'll put it in another video, taking it for a drive. But we did a couple of test drives with it before, and it drives good. When I first bought it and got it running, I drove, and the best thing about it was it drove straight as an arrow. The front end, everything's great on it. Okay, so yeah, I think it's worth 10 grand. If I was forced to sell it, that's what I'd ask for it. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. And I lucked out that the tires, I buy a lot of tires. You see all these tires here? My old helper, he's a young guy. He works at a dealership, and these are tires that people come in, buy new tires, and these are the takeoffs. These are where I got these tires from, and they're friggin' like new. Really good shape. So I'm just leaving them on there. No use in buying new ones, right? Okay, so yeah, put in the comments these Disco era Novas. They don't get a lot of love. I like them. It's a Nova. You know, to me it don't matter whether it's a 68 or 63 or 79. I like them. They're one of Chevrolet's best cars. And it's the same subframe and everything as a Camaro. So, you know, this is really like a Camaro. Rear end and front subframe and suspension, everything's the same as a Camaro. So it's really like a Camaro with a different body on it. That's why it sits so low. I was kind of wondering why. Remember the first video, why the subframe sits so low down there. But it's because it's same as a Camaro. Okay, so I guess that's all I wanted to go over. Yeah, I got the 72 Nova coming up next. If you're new, subscribe there, hit the notification bell. It'll notify you when I get new videos. And like, comment, tell me what y'all think about it. Tell me what you think it's worth. And here's the 72 Nova here. Might get a copyright violation with the radio going. So yeah, I just did a couple of videos on this one, fixing some rust on it and everything. Okay, there's the rest of the cars here. There's the RT. I put it in. It's in the Nova spot. Man, it just runs good. I started it up there the other day. I really like to drive this one around too, but Anyway, they're here collecting dust. So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.